Peace be with you. The day is finished. The ledger is closed. Let the clamor of the day recede like distant echoes against impenetrable stone. You are safe now, held within these thick ancient walls, a sanctuary against the howling world outside. It is the year 1270, and here, in this quiet candlelit tower, time itself slows, then stills. Breathe in the subtle, sweet scent of beeswax from the steady flame, and imagine the scratch of the quill now at rest. Feel the deep, profound silence beginning to gather, dissolving the world of particulars into a universal quiet. What is man made for? This question whispers in the heart of every restless soul. We are made not for endless striving, but for a fundamental design that, when honored, brings true rest. Your spirit seeks its ultimate haven. To align with this purpose is to discover sanctuary. Now, as your body sinks, heavy and content, into the mattress, let us begin the gentle ordering of your faculties. This is not struggle, but serene surrender, a quiet reorientation towards truth. First, command your senses to darken. Command your senses to darken. Your body, like a heavy stone, sinks deeper into the mattress, embracing the insistent pull of gravity. The allure of the world's shimmering mirages, wealth, possession, now seems distant, insubstantial. They are but fleeting images, incapable of anchoring the true rest your body seeks. Let them fade. Next, command your will to resign its post. Release the need to strive, to control, to impress. Honor and fame, like wisps of smoke from distant crowds, dissipate into the encompassing darkness. They are transient, uncontrollable, offering no true inner peace within these protective walls. Let go. Then, command your intellect to shift from active solving to silent beholding. The burdens of power, the relentless pursuit of dominance, are heavy, external crowns. Your mind need not grapple with them. Allow your intellect to simply observe, to rest in the unwavering light of the candle, casting still, comforting shadows. Ground yourself in the somatic reality of gravity, the body's weight, heavy as iron anchors, held by immovable stone. Bodily pleasure, a fleeting warm glow, quickly fades, offering nothing substantial or lasting. Contrast this with the enduring, effortless support of being held by the unmoved source that sustains your very being without effort of your own. What is happiness, really? Not an acquisition, nor a sensation, but the perfect operation of the intellect, contemplating the highest truth. It is this quiet, receptive, beholding state of your mind that leads to profound and lasting joy, a clarity that begins to dawn within your stillness. Your mind is not your enemy. The restless thought at 3 a.m. is not an adversary, but an intellect seeking its ultimate object. This yearning is a misdirection, not a defect. True peace comes from guiding this restless energy to silent, effortless beholding, the quill now resting quietly on the parchment. Is happiness possible in this life? Perfect, complete happiness may not be fully attainable here, yet a foretaste, a partial participation, is indeed possible. Like the first soft, cool light of dawn outside a high, narrow window, a profound and deeply satisfying contentment illuminates this present moment, a gentle promise on the need of grace. The capacity to truly rest, to align your intellect with its ultimate object, is not solely your striving. It requires a divine aid, a quiet, sustaining force. You are held by an effortless power, much like your body is held by the mattress and the earth's gravity, without any effort of your own. The intellect's rest. All preceding wisdom culminates here. The ultimate, most profound rest of your intellect is found in the contemplation of the highest truth. The candle flame slowly dims, flickers once more, then gently extinguishes, leaving total comforting darkness. All sounds fade into profound silence, sink into effortless, deep, restorative peace. You are safely held by the unmoved source. Sleep now. And so we begin the great ordering. First, give the command to your senses. Let the gates of perception close, not with a slam, but with the silent, heavy swing of a cathedral door closing on the world. The day's thousand sights and sounds, the endless procession of colors and noises, fall away into a deep and reverent hush. Your body now begins its descent, a slow and deliberate surrender to the truth of its own mass. Feel it as a leaden weight, a plumb bob released at last, sinking through still water to find its one true and final point of rest. All deviation, all striving, ceases. There is only this gentle, inexorable pull toward the center. This is your first taste of true repose. And in this quiet, a question arises from the Summa. Can wealth make you happy? Look now, with your mind's eye, at the mirage shimmering just outside your sanctuary. See the glint of 1,000 gold coins, a phantom treasury that promises security. Hear the rustle of fine silks, the murmur of markets, the clinking of full goblets. These are the promises of wealth. They call to the senses, offering comfort, ease, and insulation from the world's harshness. And yet, Aquinas gently reminds us, these are all external goods. They are instruments, tools to be used. They are for the sake of the body, but happiness is the good of the soul. An instrument cannot be the ultimate end, any more than a hammer can be the cathedral it builds. The restlessness you feel in the deep watches of the night, that frantic accounting of what is owned and what is owed, is the very proof of this. The mind tethered to wealth can never be still. It must constantly guard its treasure, for riches can be stolen, fortunes can be lost, and the security they offer is as fragile as a spider's web in a gale. The pursuit of wealth is the enemy of peace, for it chains the intellect to the finite, the perishable, the uncertain. But you are letting that chain dissolve. Feel it now. As your senses darken, the clamor of the marketplace fades. The blinding glint of gold softens into the deep, honest darkness behind your eyes. Your body, now profoundly heavy, has a substance that no treasure can purchase. It feels as dense and permanent as a blacksmith's great anvil, cool and solid and utterly unmoved. It does not strive for more. It simply is. Breathe in the faint, calming scent of dried herbs, chamomile and lavender, tucked within your pillow, an aroma of the earth, not of the mint. Feel the substantial weight of a coarse wool blanket, a simple, true and honest comfort against your skin. This is a wealth the world cannot give. By commanding your senses to darken, you are not blinding them, but teaching them a deeper way of seeing. You are turning their gaze away from the flickering, unsatisfying illusions of the exterior world and pointing them inward toward the profound, unshakable reality of your own being, held securely in this present moment. The endless desire for more is silenced. The fear of loss is quieted. There is only the deep, peaceful gravity of your own existence, a treasure that cannot be lost or stolen, sinking ever deeper into the unyielding support beneath you. Here, in this quiet refusal of the world's false promises, you prepare the ground for a deeper surrender, and so you issue the second command, not to the body, which is already finding its peace, but to the anxious captain of your ship, the will. You command it to resign its post, release the tiller, let go of the charts and the compasses that have guided your striving through the treacherous waters of the day. For tonight, the will is not the captain, but a humble passenger, secure in a vessel it did not build, sailing on a sea it does not command. Let it rest. And as the will stands down from its weary watch, the next question whispers from the darkness. Can honor or fame make you happy? Look again with your mind's eye. See a faint shimmer in the air of your chamber, like heat rising from a road. It coalesces into a vision, a distant crowd, their mouths open in a silent roar of adulation. A laurel wreath, woven from ghost light, hovers for a moment. This is the promise of honor, the world's approval. And yet, Aquinas asks you to see the truth of it. Honor is not a thing you possess. It is an opinion that exists in the minds of others, as fickle and shifting as the shadows cast by this candle. The happiness it grants is borrowed, fragile, and utterly outside of your control. The praise of 1,000 voices is still just a sound, a vibration in the air that dies the moment it is uttered. It cannot warm you. It cannot hold you. It is a testament to some good they perceive in you, but it is not the good itself. And now, you let that smoke-like image of the crowd dissolve. The silent roar fades into the profound quiet of this tower. The ghostly wreath vanishes, and you feel what happens when the will ceases its desperate campaign for approval. That frantic inner monologue, the one that rehearses conversations and replays slights in the dead of night, finally falls silent. The need to be seen, to be known, to be validated, simply releases its grip. Your body becomes heavier still, but with a new quality of stillness. It is as heavy as a great cathedral bell, long after the tolling is done, hanging in the belfry in immense and silent potential. Its purpose is not in the ringing, but in its very being, its solid, patient weight. Breathe in the faint, dry scent of old vellum from a book left open on the lectern, a fragrance of accumulated wisdom, not of fleeting applause. Feel the profound, undisturbed coolness of the air on your skin, an atmosphere that has not been stirred by the passing of any other soul for hours. This is the peace that comes from seeking no witness. By commanding your will to rest, you are not becoming passive, you are becoming sovereign. You reclaim your center of gravity from the scattered and unpredictable opinions of the world, and you place it firmly within yourself. The restless desire to impress is calmed. The fear of judgment is quieted. There is only the deep, resonant reality of your own being, resting in its own truth, held securely in the solitude of this sacred night. Here, in this freedom from the gaze of others, you prepare the soul for the final, most subtle surrender. And now you issue the third and final command. This one travels to the very heart of the citadel, to the restless engine of your inner world, the intellect. Command it now to stand down. Order it to cease its endless calculations, its tireless construction of scenarios, its frantic search for solutions to problems that have not yet arrived. Tell the architect of your anxieties to lay down its tools. For tonight, the intellect's task is not to solve, but to see, not to grasp, but to behold. Its work is to become as still and clear as a pool of undisturbed water in a deep cavern, reflecting the single steady flame of this candle without a ripple. As this quiet settles in the seat of reason, another phantom question forms in the air. Can power make you happy? And with it, a new vision. Not of crowds or coins, but of a king's great seal, carved from heavy agate and set in cold iron, resting on the desk beside the parchment. See its heft, its potential. With one press into hot wax, it can command armies, levy taxes, alter the fates of men. This is the promise of power, the capacity to impose your will upon the world, to be a cause and not merely an effect. And yet Aquinas, in the quiet of his own cell, would bid you look closer. Power, he explains, is a principle, a beginning. It is a means to an end, and can be used equally for good or for evil. How then can it be the ultimate good itself? The happiness it seems to offer is an illusion, for the mind that seeks to dominate is a mind in a state of siege. It is forever guarding its borders, anticipating threats, calculating the loyalty of its allies and the intentions of its rivals. That grinding in your mind at 3 in the morning, that restless attempt to control every outcome, is the very proof of power's torment. It is a state of perpetual, low-grade warfare. But now you let that illusion fade. The heavy seal dissolves back into the shadows, and you feel what happens when the intellect finally ceases its campaign for control. The tension in your jaw, your shoulders, your brow releases. It is a profound untying of a knot you did not even know was there. Your body sinks even further, its weight now possessing the quality of a massive, perfectly fitted keystone at the apex of a vaulted ceiling, held in place not by struggle, but by the perfect resolution of all forces, a point of ultimate stability and rest. Breathe in the cool, mineral scent of old mortar, the faint, clean smell of stone and rain that has seeped into the castle's bones over centuries, an aroma of permanence, not of conquest. Hear, as if from a great distance, the low moan of the wind as it passes over the high battlements, a sound of struggle and chaos that cannot touch you here in the deep, silent heart of the keep. This is the peace of non-contention. By commanding your intellect to shift from solving to beholding, you are not surrendering to chaos. You are aligning yourself with a far greater and more fundamental power. You are allowing your mind to rest in its own nature, which is not to be a frantic general, but a silent, receptive witness to the truth. The need to manage the world is extinguished. The fear of being overwhelmed is calmed. There is only the deep, unshakable reality of your own being, a sovereign kingdom of one, held in the effortless dominion of the present moment, at peace. And in this profound quietude, as your very being settles, the final earthly illusion flickers into view. A question, softer than a moth's wing, hovers at the edge of your awareness. Can bodily pleasure make you happy? Imagine now a warmth beginning to spread through the cold air of your cell. It is a sweet, almost intoxicating heat, emanating not from the candle, but from some unseen source, a phantom fire in your mind. This is the seductive promise of pleasure, a brief, intense burst of satisfaction, a fleeting moment of pure sensory delight. Perhaps it is the imagined taste of finest honey, or the imagined touch of softest silk, or the echo of a forgotten song. It is vivid, immediate, and utterly captivating. And yet, even as you behold it, Aquinas asks you to recognize its nature. Bodily pleasure, he explains, is always a movement, a transition from lack to fulfillment, and thus it cannot be the ultimate end. It is fleeting by its very definition, for the moment it is attained, it begins to dissipate, leaving behind a longing for its return or a quiet sense of emptiness. The happiness it offers is inherently unstable, tied to the frailties and appetites of the physical body, which itself is destined for decay. The mind that chases pleasure is forever pursuing a mirage, forever on the move, never truly resting, never truly settled. It is a state of perpetual seeking, a hunger that can never be permanently sated. But now you witness this phantom warmth begin to cool. The sweetness fades, the imagined touch dissipates, the echo of the song dies into silence, and you feel what happens when the intellect is no longer beguiled by the transient allure of the senses. Your body sinks deeper still, not with effort, but with the profound, yielding surrender of an ancient, river-worn boulder at the bottom of a deep canyon. It is held, not by its own striving, but by the colossal, unchanging embrace of the earth itself, rooted beyond all motion. There is a sense of immense, unmoving solidity that comes not from rigidity, but from absolute surrender to the gravitational pull that cradles all existence. You are not falling, you are being held, you are not reaching, you are being sustained. Breathe in the cool, dry scent of stored grain, a faint aroma of patient sustenance that speaks of the deep earth's bounty and cycles, not of fleeting indulgence. Feel the smooth, cool surface of a great worn timber that forms the central beam of your chamber ceiling, its immense weight distributed and held without a single tremor, an anchor of structural permanence above you. Feel the quiet pressure of the air against your skin, a vast, invisible ocean of atmosphere that presses down upon you with consistent, gentle force, holding you steadfastly in its depths. This is the deep, profound security that arises when you understand that your being is effortlessly sustained by the unmoved source, the ultimate ground of all existence. No effort is required from you, no striving, no pursuit, no grasping for ephemeral delights. The endless cycle of desire and fleeting satisfaction is broken. The restless urge to feel more, to taste more, to experience more, is quieted. There is only the deep, silent reality of your own being, a solid, unmoving core held in the effortless, abiding truth of the present moment. Here, in this freedom from the relentless demands of the body, you prepare for the true revelation of happiness itself. And so, with all illusions set aside, a vast and silent space opens within you. The clamor of the world has receded, the false promises have dissolved, and what remains is a profound and patient quiet. Your gaze, now drawn inward, settles upon a single point of light. The steady flame of the candle. It now seems to burn with a new purpose. Its gentle radiance falls upon a heavy, open book, its pages dense with ink, resting on a simple wooden lectern. It is here, in the quiet heart of wisdom, that the final, essential question arises, not as a shout, but as a soft, internal dawn. What is happiness, really? After all this letting go, what is the soul meant to hold? Aquinas, through the silent script on the page, offers an answer not of acquisition, but of operation. Happiness, he reveals, is not a thing to be possessed. It is not a state to be achieved and then hoarded. It is an activity. But it is an activity of the most peculiar kind. It is the perfect, unimpeded operation of your highest faculty, the intellect, as it rests in its highest object, the absolute and final truth. Think of the state you are in now, this silent beholding, this effortless witnessing. This is not emptiness, this is the beginning of that very operation. You are allowing the mind to do what it was made to do, not to chase, not to build, not to conquer, but simply to see, and in that seeing, to find its ultimate rest. Your body, deeply settled, feels this truth in its very bones. Its weight is no longer a burden, but a testament to its reality. It possesses the profound stillness of a great cold anvil in a darkened smithy. All day it endures the fire and the hammer, the ringing clamor of becoming. But at night it simply is. Cold, solid, and absolute in its purpose, its immense potential held in a state of perfect, silent repose. It does not strive. It does not move. Yet all true work is formed upon it. Breathe in now the dry, calming fragrance of herbs, lavender and chamomile, tied in bundles and hanging from the dark rafters above, a scent of patient healing and quiet fields. Feel the coarse, heavy weave of a woolen blanket laid over you, its simple, honest texture, a comfort against the skin, a grounding in the real. This, you begin to understand, is the nature of true contentment. It is not an ecstatic peak, but a deep, abiding foundation. It is the joy of a faculty perfectly aligned with its end. The eye is happy when it sees a beautiful form, the ear is happy when it hears a perfect harmony, and the intellect, your very mind, finds its own unique and highest happiness in the silent contemplation of what is ultimately real. A quiet inner light begins to glow within the chamber of your mind, a luminescence that does not come from the candle. It is the light of understanding, dawning without effort. It is the simple, profound joy of recognizing your own design. The restlessness that haunts the deep hours of the night is simply this faculty, the intellect, searching desperately and blindly in the dark for this one true object. Now, in the stillness, you have given it what it seeks, not a puzzle to solve, but a truth to behold. There is no longer a need to go anywhere or to become anything else. You are resting in the very activity for which you were made. This is the bedrock of peace. The ledger is closed, the illusions are scattered, and here, in the deep and silent heart of your own being, you find not an emptiness, but the beginning of a quiet, unshakable, and lasting joy. And in this understanding, a great kindness begins to dawn within you, a compassion for your own mind, especially for that mind which surfaces in the third hour of the morning, frantic and alone. You know this mind. It is the adversary, the tormentor that replays every mistake, that constructs every future catastrophe, that presents you with an endless inventory of your own inadequacies. You have fought it, wrestled it into submission, cursed its tireless anxiety. But now, in the stillness of this ancient chamber, you see the truth. That mind is not your enemy. It has never been your enemy. That frantic energy is not a malfunction. It is a testament to its magnificent design. Imagine a master cartographer's finest compass, its needle of magnetized iron shivering, spinning wildly, unable to settle. You would not curse the compass for its restlessness. You would understand it is merely searching, with all its being, for the great invisible magnetic pole of the earth. Its agitation is the very proof of its purpose. So it is with your intellect. Its 3 a.m. restlessness is the proof of its noble, relentless orientation toward its own true north, the ultimate and final truth. It is a caged eagle, created for the vast emptiness of the sky, beating its wings against the bars of trivial, earthly concerns. It is a powerful, deep-rooted thirst that cannot be slaked by the shallow puddles of wealth, or honor, or pleasure. The agitation you feel is the desperate, noble search of your highest faculty for its proper object. It is not a sickness to be cured, but a homing instinct to be understood and gently guided. Your mind is not your enemy. It is simply lost in the dark, and you have been fighting it instead of lighting a lamp. But now the lamp is lit. The light of this simple understanding transforms everything. The long, deep shadows that stretch from the foot of your cot are no longer voids of uncertainty, but pools of deep, quiet sanctuary. They are the visible presence of silence itself, a thick velvet cloak of peace wrapped around you. Breathe in the faint, clean scent of rain-washed ivy growing through a crack in the stone casement high above, a fragrance of persistent, quiet life. Feel the immense placid weight of a great iron-bound chest at the foot of your bed, its contents sealed in the dark, its presence a guarantee of stillness and security. It does not move, it does not strive, it simply abides. This is the new state of your mind. By offering it the silence of pure beholding, you have given the compass its pole star. You have opened the cage for the eagle. The frantic spinning ceases. The beating of wings is stilled, and what is left is a profound, powerful, and alert rest. The restless energy has not been destroyed. It has been fulfilled. It has found its harbor. Look again in your mind's eye at the scribe's table. The tools are not broken or cast aside. The ink in its stone pot is dark and ready. The sharpened point of the goose feather is poised. But it rests, motionless in its stand, its work of active transcription complete. Its potential is fully present, but it is held in a state of perfect, patient repose. This is your intellect now, no longer a frantic, desperate seeker, but a silent, dignified witness. The war is over. There is no enemy within. There was only ever a profound and sacred longing, misunderstood as fear. Now you can finally lay down your arms. You can sink into the mattress with the final, complete surrender of a cathedral's foundation stone, settling into the deep earth upon which all else will be built, unseen, unpraised, but absolutely essential, its great work accomplished in perfect stillness. The peace that follows is not an empty peace. It is the rich, resonant silence of a great bell after it has been struck, its final, perfect tone hanging in the air, defining the very space around it. You are not empty. You are finally, perfectly, in tune. And in this harmony, a gentle understanding descends, settling like morning dew upon a quiet field. For while your intellect now rests in its noble purpose, and the frantic chase has ceased, a deeper truth softly whispers, that perfect, unadulterated happiness, the absolute clarity that leaves no longing, no shadow of want, is not fully woven into the fabric of this earthly life. Imagine the profound silence of a deep natural wellspring, unmoving in its earthen bed, its waters pure and ceaseless. Yet, even this spring, for all its perfection, does not contain the boundless ocean. So too, the soul in this mortal coil cannot fully encompass the infinite joy. But do not mistake this for lack, or for a return to disquiet. No, this present peace, this profound contentment, this silent beholding, is not the whole ocean, but it is a true draught from its purest depths. It is a foretaste, a partial participation, rich and deeply satisfying, allowing your spirit to be imbued with its essence. Look now with your mind's eye towards the high, narrow window of your chamber. The deep, impenetrable black of night has begun to soften. A cool, grey light, subtle as a breath, is just now tracing the furthest edge of the horizon. It is not the full, dazzling blaze of day, not yet the complete revelation, but it is undeniably the dawn, a promise, a certain undeniable light, real and profound in its gentle beauty, hinting at the fullness to come while delivering a tangible present peace. This partial illumination is your present state. It is a deeply satisfying and quiet joy that asks for nothing more than to be simply received. Feel now the smooth, cool touch of polished dark wood beneath your fingertips, perhaps the surface of a lectern or the edge of a stout table, solid and ancient, bearing the faint, sweet scent of countless years of honest use. This object does not strive for light, yet it holds the light that falls upon it with quiet dignity. Its purpose is complete in its simple existence. This is the happiness attainable now, a profound and deeply satisfying contentment found in this tranquil intellectual contemplation. It is the joy of an ancient, gnarled oak tree, rooted deep in the earth, its immense bulk unmoving through centuries of storm and sun. It does not aspire to be a cloud in the sky, nor a river flowing to the sea. Its perfect happiness is found in its magnificent, quiet rootedness, in the slow, persistent reaching of its branches towards the available light, in the simple, profound act of being exactly what it was made to be. Its life is long, its growth enduring, yet its highest joy is found in its silent, present participation in the grand design of the forest. You are resting in this deep, enduring peace. You do not demand the full glory of noon, for the gentle, soft light of dawn is sufficient, more than sufficient. It fills the chamber of your mind with a subtle, radiant calm. Breathe in now the faint, earthy scent of damp, ancient stone, a smell of cool, enduring resilience that rises from the very foundation of your tower, grounding you to the silent history of the earth itself. There is a deep, profound satisfaction in knowing that you are held within this reality, a peace that does not need to be earned or grasped, but simply received. It is the peace of a journey understood, not yet concluded, but already deeply blessed with the truth it seeks. And as you rest in this blessing, a final profound humility settles over you, as gentle and pervasive as the cool night air itself. You begin to understand that this great peace, this quiet alignment of your intellect was not achieved by the sheer force of your will. Your effort was only to open the door, but the grand, silent hall into which you have stepped was not of your own making. You did not build this tower. You did not place the stars in the sky, and you do not, by your own power, command your own heart to beat. The capacity to find this true rest, to allow the intellect to settle upon its ultimate object, is itself a gift. It is a form of aid, a quiet, sustaining grace that holds you in existence moment by moment, without any conscious thought or striving on your part. Think of a great heavy tapestry that hangs upon the coldest stone wall of the chamber. It depicts a vast and ancient forest, the threads dyed in deep umbers and mossy greens. Your own efforts to find peace were like a single short length of flaxen thread, trying to weave itself into this monumental story. An impossible, exhausting task. But now you see, you are not the weaver. You are but one thread, and the grace that sustains you is the great silent loom itself, the immense unseen structure that holds every single thread in its perfect place, creating a beautiful and coherent whole without any one thread understanding the grand design. The thread does not need to hold the loom holds the thread, effortlessly, perfectly, and in this acceptance the thread finally rests, finding its meaning and its peace by simply being held in its proper place. Breathe in the dry, ancient scent of that woven wool, of dust and of time itself. Feel the immense placid weight of it upon the wall, a curtain of stillness that absorbs the echoes of the world, leaving only a deep and resonant quiet. This is the support you are now experiencing. It is not something you must grasp or earn. It is the very medium in which you exist. This quiet strength is what has been holding you all along, even when you thrashed and wrestled against it, believing you were alone and unsupported in the dark. It is a power as quiet and as constant as the immense, settled weight of the roof timbers far above your head, interlocked and seasoned, their great work of sheltering you accomplished in a silence that has lasted for centuries. They do not groan or strive, they simply hold. And this realization brings the final, necessary permission for the intellect to fully surrender. It is the deep, cellular understanding that you do not have to hold yourself together. You do not have to maintain the world by the force of your own anxiety. You are being held. Your being is a gift, renewed in every breath. The frantic activity of the mind at 3 a.m. was the desperate belief that you were the sole architect of your own safety, the lone captain of a ship in a storm. But you are not. You are a passenger, held safely in the deep, unmoving ballast of a vessel steered by a far greater wisdom. Look now at the heavy iron door to your chamber. Imagine the simple, powerful mechanism of its latch, a thick bar of forged metal resting in a heavy, curved catch. The restless will is like a hand, straining to hold that massive door shut against the howling wind, a tiring, endless vigilance. But this divine aid is the latch itself. With a simple final act of surrender, you let the iron bar fall. It drops into its cradle with a solid, satisfying finality. And now it holds the door shut, not by your effort, but by its own immense weight and perfect design. The storm may still rage outside the walls, but it is of no concern to you. The latch holds. It requires no further effort from you. It simply performs the function for which it was made. So too, your intellect, released from the impossible burden of securing its own peace, now rests in the security that has been provided for it. This is the nature of grace, a deep, abiding safety that was always there, waiting beneath the clamor of your own striving. The final war is over, not because you won, but because you realized there was never an enemy to fight. There was only a support you had not yet learned to trust.